Cowboys blew out the Commanders on Sunday, 44-22, and Dallas's offense was cooking. Dak Prescott threw for 264 yards and 3 touchdowns with no interceptions, while CeeDee Lamb made big plays in his return, 110 yards for him, including a 74-yard catch and run to the end zone. And the Dallas defense finally showed up. The Dallas D forced 2 turnovers, including a pick-6 from Deron Bland. Stephen A. finally back in the building.
Yeah.
You know, Cam kind of called you out yesterday a little bit because, you know, the Cowboys did well on Sunday. But do you really believe that Dallas can win the NFC East?
Hell no. Of course I don't believe that.
Why not? That was coming.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second. I don't believe that for 1 second.
Give it to them. Oh, my God.
It's real fun because, first of all, I want to thank the Dallas Cowboys because they have looked very, very impressive offensively. I have Dak Prescott right now as a leading candidate for league MVP honors, the way that he's playing right now.
He's playing
He's
great.
been absolutely 71% completions, 270 yards a game, all right, 13 touchdowns, no interception, a passer rating of 128 over his last 4 games. He's been sensational, no doubt about it. He's earning his money. He's showing what he does. Let's give props to Jerry Jones from the standpoint you're paying the man $60 million. Jerry Jones' ego wants that man to be successful.
That's right.
You understand? Because he wants that investment justified. You see, and so that offsets letting Micah Parsons walk out of the building. I know exactly how Jerry Jones is thinking. Okay, so we understand that. But Dak Prescott, and then you got cats like Pickens and CeeDee Lamb, Javonte Williams. Give him some love. He's giving you production out of the running back spot. Their offense is prolific. Their defense is trash. We all know this, okay? Their defense is not impressive at all. And you know when you think about what we said about the conversation we just had about Detroit, think about the conversation we just had about Seattle, think about what we've said about the Rams. We know that we can't dismiss the Eagles. Please, you got to overcome all of that. It ain't gonna happen. But I like the conversation. You understand? Because CC, I keep telling people all the time, see, I don't want you to fall from here. See, I want you up here. I want you up here. I want you up here. You understand?
So you want him to have a little bit of hope. You want a little bit of hope for the Dallas Cowboys fans.
I don't want you falling off the curb.
Right.
I want you falling off the roof.
Yes.
You understand?
Wow.
I want the Cowboy fans. I see him now. No, we're going to Super Bowl next year. Right?
Yeah.
No, we're going to Super Bowl this year. Right? I see it now. I see it. And you hear him talking, and you just feel that their chest is sticking out. Yeah. We got a good team. We can win the NFC East.
Yeah,
Look at it. I see it. I see it. You see what we just did? It's all set up. And that's why I was telling Cam and them yesterday, just be patient. Mm-hmm. Just wait. I ain't been wrong in 29 years. Okay? And it's going to be 30.
Well,
and it's going to be 30. And just wait for it. It's going to come. Just be patient. That's all I'm going to say.
Well, Stephen A., the question wasn't, can the Dallas Cowboys win the Super Bowl?
They can win the NFC.
Can they win the NFC
And I said,
East?
well, listen, I'm not feeling that.
Well,
I'm not feeling that because of their defense. Seriously, because of their defense.
Well, okay, Stephen A.
But offensively, they can beat anybody. They can beat anybody.
The defense isn't great, but the defense was better on Sunday against the Commanders.
Are we going to ignore that McLaurin wasn't out there, or Brown wasn't out there, Deebo Samuel's out there? We just going to ignore that the 3 primary weapons for the Washington Commanders were all gone? We just going to ignore that, CC?
Stephen A., Terry McLaurin ain't played in a while now. So, I mean, I understand we're using that excuse. I get where you're going. But the defensive line still had 4 sacks on Jaden Daniels. They still knocked out the opposing quarterback, and they still had a pick 6.
Well, if you ain't got nobody to throw the ball, the pick 6 for Mariota, really? That's what we doing?
I mean,
that's what we doing?
still counts as a pick 6.
It still counts.
Oh, that's what we doing? It still counts? It still counts?
Is it in the box score? Is it on the scoreboard?
That's what we're doing.
It's
in the box score.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
But here's the thing, Stephen A. DeMarvion Overshown, their standout linebacker, he's now in his window where he can return to practice. They're expecting him to be back in November.
And he can ball.
That's a huge add. And here's the deal. The Dallas Cowboys just have to keep from discounting themselves before the trade deadline, because if this team can hover right where they're at, be around 500, and have Dak and that offense playing the way that they're playing, then Jerry Jones can be validated and continuing to invest in this team by trading for a piece for the defensive side of the ball. Remember, after the Micah Parsons trade, Jerry said with that draft capital that he was willing to add to this team this year. It wasn't about it just being a move for 2026 and beyond. He said he would invest in this team this year. They got a road game against the Denver Broncos and then at home against the Arizona Cardinals. If they can split those games going into their bye week in the trade deadline, I don't expect this Dallas Cowboys team and this defense to remain as constituted. Last thing, the NFC East in the last 2 decades hasn't had a repeat champ.
Right.
And the Dallas Cowboys offense is the most dominant unit in all three phases of football of any team in that division.
For sure.
I will roll with the Dallas Cowboys having a chance to win the NFC East off of that alone.
Wow, I'm shocked. I'm shocked by you as well because I thought you was going to slow play this. I thought you would just let it be. Absolutely try to encourage the Cowboy fans to buy in more.
They're at that point now. I don't have to do that.
Yeah, okay.
I don't have to do that because they're at that point. They're already in there. They're already in there. They're already
stirred up.
hook, line, and sinker.
Because I'm on the same thing with you. Defense wins championships, and I think offenses, although as good as Dallas's offense is, and I do think Dak is on MVP level, I think they are lights. I think Javonte Williams has done. Their offensive line is good, and they've been banged up, and they're still good.
The Cowboys can run the ball better than the Eagles can.
That's true.
right.
But that don't make any sense.
Here's the problem.
It doesn't.
That don't make any sense.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
I can't understand that.
I don't understand that.
At some point, the ball doesn't bounce your way offensively. You're not going to get, you know what I mean? And so it's going to get cold, or you're going to have bad days. It's not, Dak's not going to be or the receiver's not going to, it's going to hit a hand, get tip ball, whatever it is. I just think at some point you have to rely on your defense. Now, I will say this. I love the fact that there's reporting that then Schottenheimer, their head coach, went into the defensive meeting rooms this week and were just like, listen, be aggressive. Because at least if we give up a big play, we're putting the ball back in Dak's hand. But instead of the 6 or 7 minute drive that they punch in late, and it's just like defeating for your team, right? Because now you gotta speed up your offense. I just think it's really, and I've played on some of the best offenses in NFL history. It is really hard to stay that efficient throughout 17 games because you're going to run into some buzzsaw defenses. And like I looked at their schedule, like you said, they come off that bye and they play the Raiders, so that's a big. But then they go
a bye week.
Eagles, Chiefs, Lions, Vikings, Chargers, Commanders, Giants, right? Like that's not a. Their offense is going to have to carry them, and I'm just not sure because their defense against those matchups is going to be tough. I just think it's going to be a tough.
I want to say this too. Let me just veer left and say this about the Washington Commanders. They've messed up their season. I mean, a lot of bad luck has run away. You move on from Brian Robinson Jr. Austin Eckler gets hurt, and he's lost for the year, week 2, torn Achilles, right? I'm just looking at this. Jaden Daniels, he's missed a couple of games this year. You got all three receivers out.
But let's not forget how they handled the Terry McLaurin contract negotiation. Him missing time in the preseason and the correlation to not being acclimated to football, being injured early on.
Exactly, because that's where the quad injury comes from. So it's like, he's missed 4 games already. They really messed stuff up. They took – the Washington Commanders should be a lesson for a lot of NFL teams out there. They took for granted what happened last year. You had a rookie who established himself as a star, and you thought you could play games, because you had that security blanket. They've messed up the season. I'm blaming their front office for what has happened to the Washington Commanders this season more so than anything else. Because like you pointed out with Terry McLaurin, the negotiations, you got to take into account, y'all know this better than me, you got to take into account being in football shape, being in a proper condition, dotting your I's, crossing your T's, doing everything you can to maximize your potential and have yourself ready. And they let business get in the way of business. And now it's messing with them on the football field.
It's disappointing for sure. And Daniels being injured again. Look, he and Drake May, they're the most fun quarterbacks to watch. But, man, you hold your breath every play.
Right.
Because they'll put themselves in harm's way, man, take unnecessary shots to get the ball, and ultimately your body pays. I mean, availability at the quarterback position is a must, and him being banged up, it's just hard to get rhythm when your starting guy can't be there.
Jeff, I might need you to check his cup of coffee.
It's got a little something in it.
Listen, it's actually a take that I agree with. Is it the medicine that the Bills gave? It's actually a take that I agree with.
Stephen A is still on the Bills have finally kicked their offense into gear this weekend against the Vikings. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith combined for over 300 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. And Jalen Hurts became just the 3rd QB in Eagles history to finish a game with a perfect passer rating and help Philly earn the 28-22 win. Post-game, Saquon Barkley broke it down for all the Philly haters.
The only thing that matters is winning football games. And however it looks, like, people, I don't get it. Like, people get caught up in how winning looks. Like, winning is supposed to be our team versus their team, and we have more points than them when the clock is at 0. And if it's Jalen dropping back 75% of the time, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. If it's us running the ball 75%, that's what it takes, is what it takes. Like, obviously, you will love some type of balance, Like we all would love, to he have 200, he have 200, I have 200, blah, 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 blah. It's not the reality. It's not me. This isn't Sims. This isn't Madden. This is real life. So whatever it looks like, that's the only thing that matters. Whatever it looks like to win the football game, that's what we're going to keep doing.
Saquon Barkley making it clear right there that the only thing that matters is getting in that win column. Drew, I'll start with you. I know you called that Eagles offense vanilla a couple of weeks ago, but it's too much being made about the Eagles offensive struggles.
Look, it is about winning. And I'll be honest, I'm shocked that they're 5-2 based on how they've played. They are a middle of the pack offense and they're a middle of the pack defense right now. And I think shockingly, statistically, they are the 30th ranked rushing offense in the league.
Thank you.
Would you have ever thought that the Philadelphia Eagles, with the best back in football and one of the best dual threat quarterbacks in football, and one of the best O-lines in football, would be the 30th ranked rush defense? And they've got two of the most explosive receivers in the league. Here's what I see when I turn on the Philly tape. I see a team who has gone so far from what was their identity. Man, in the past, it was, man, we are run first, and we are either handing it off to this guy with a light box because somebody has to account for the quarterback, or Jalen Hurts is going to pull it and he's going to run, or he's going to throw an RPO because we have favorable numbers on the edge, and we're going to get in these playmakers' hands, and we're just going to sit there and dent the defense, and we're going to control the clock, and then the point totals will reflect that, and then the defense isn't going to be out there as long. But it's hard not to turn them on and say, man, they just don't look like what they've done in the past. And maybe they're just shifting their mindset. It looks like they're just trying to put Jalen in the gun, do a lot more drop back passing, and give him the opportunities just to read the defense and throw the football. And if that's what they want to do, that's fine. But I just don't think it's as good as they could be. And I think that's what we need to focus on here is, yeah, you're winning games, but are you as good as you could be when you have the top 10 highest paid guys on your team on offense?
Well,
and you are the 30th ranked rushing offense in the league, and you're just like squeaking out games. Like, to me, that's not the roster that you've built.
Let me say this to y'all. First of all, I love having Drew Brees on the show. I appreciate the expertise, and I love my man Jeff Saturday as well because, damn it, I ain't never play. I learned from listening to y'all. I'm brilliant because I know I'm not. I listen to those who are, and I steal knowledge from y'all. That's what I do all the time, okay? I'm a thief, all right? That's what I am. Having said all of that, from a reporter's perspective, from a pundit's perspective, I want Saquon Barkley to understand that when you hear something like that, that is not what people want to hear. Yeah. And let me tell you why, Drew, that matters. And let me tell you why, Jeff, that matters so much. You rushed for 2,005 yards last year.
Right.
What you're doing this year, the average running back can do. You ain't average. You're Saquon Barkley. And so I understand that winning is important. But you know what one of my favorite saying is, Drew, you don't know this, but you're about to learn. One of my favorite saying is, don't let it be you. Don't let it be you. Make sure that when we're looking at struggles, make sure that when we're looking at a lack of production, make sure that when we're looking at things that may derail, our objective in terms of winning a championship, we ain't looking at you and saying that's the reason why. Now, we know there's more that goes into it. You got to block for the man. We get that. Yeah. You got to throw the football effectively. You got to have a balanced attack. Last game against Minnesota, they ran the ball 23 times. They threw the ball 23 times. We get it. In games where Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown have scored a touchdown, the Eagles are undefeated 12-0. We get all of that, right? But when we look at the reigning defending Super Bowl champions, we know that doesn't happen last year if Saquon Barkley doesn't have the kind of season that he had, if he doesn't instill the kind of fear in the opposition that he instilled in them. Nobody's expecting a back-to-back 2,000-yard season, but we don't expect you to be rushing for 2,005 yards and then halfway through the season, damn near, you're on pace to rush for 900.
Right.
We don't expect that kind of precipitous drop-off. And when you're not acknowledging that there's a drop-off, and that's alarming, and that's something that we got to fix, I don't like that. Because in the end, you're trying to gloss over the fact that it might not be you, but what your position requires and what your level of production has proven to be, it's not measuring up. And somehow, some way, that's going to have to be fixed, especially when you look at Detroit, Seattle, San Fran, L.A., etc. You're going to have to do something. Hell, they're going to have to do better if they're going to hold off the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC East. That's just a fact.
Yeah, I would say this. This, to me, is a very similar conversation that I had for the entire season last year about the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Everybody talked about they're not winning. They're struggling to win. They're finding these weird ways to win. Like they're blocking field goals or somebody's doinking one of making the Super Bowl, right? They don't win the Super Bowl, but they end up making it back. I find this a very similar situation. They have a new offensive coordinator in Kevin Patullo. They're trying to figure that thing out. Everybody said, hey, it's too boring. They're not doing enough. So what do? They go out, they throw for, 3 whatever, and AJ has 100 and Devontae has $150 or whatever his numbers are. It's just an insane day, right, against the Vikings when they're throwing the ball.
183 yards,
I don't love them not being able to run the ball. So to Drew's point, the NFL would tell you have to be able to run the ball more proficiently to take it deep in the playoffs. But the Chiefs did it, right? So I think they have not found their identity on offense quite yet. But let me say this. The reason I think we're making too big a deal of this is because of this. They have beaten the Cowboys. They have beaten the Chiefs. They have beaten the Rams. They beat the Bucs. They beat the Vikings. All good teams, right? Now, they lose to the Giants, on a Thursday night, bad loss, and they lose to the Broncos in a tight one against Denver, who I think is a very good football team. But if you're looking at this, when you're trying to find your identity, at least the winning is what the main goal is, right? Your main goal, you're accomplishing your main goal. Now let's fix and add in the areas we need to fix and improve to continue winning. And when we get to December and we get to January, we find ways to win. But I don't think it's, you throw out the baby with the bathwater type thing. The main point of our game is to win. And if Andy Reid and Kansas City can do it this way and still find their way back to the Super Bowl, I don't doubt that Nick Sirianni and the Eagles can do the same. I just think it's going to take them time to find their full identity on offense and get this thing humming the way it was last year.
Drew, real quick, last word on that.
The other thing to add is that the run, if you want, I understand if you started the season saying, hey, we need to get more out of the pass game. We want to get more opportunities out of the pass game. It doesn't mean that you just get up there and call more pass plays.
Right.
Because the run game is and the threat of the run game and the fear around what you can do in the run game is what sets up the pass game.
That's right.
And so to me, they will have more opportunities in the pass game to get it to these playmakers, get more favorable matchups, and get more out of the play action game if they can run the ball better.
And can I say this?
Yeah.
The one thing I love what Drew said earlier on was about the shotgun thing. And I get it. Like teams go, they have this idea about this gun run, all this. It helps the rhythm of your run game can be helped tremendously by just going under center.
Yeah.
And I know that's not it's not popular. Nobody does it anymore, right? Like high schools don't do it much. Colleges don't do it. I'm just for offensive line, for running backs, it just helps you a lot. And right now, the one thing I would say that Drew emphasized that I really like is at some point, let's go play big boy ball. And let's do, if you feel like we need to find because you can change the way people can align to you and do things, because the back is actually, your quarterback's back is getting turned to the defense. That does matter. Now, maybe Kevin Patullo doesn't want to do that. I don't really know, but I know this. As a guy who played in this league a long time, I was all about when we're under center. Like, it just matters for our run game and the productivity of play action behind that. Yeah. It opened up the field in a tremendous way. So I did love that point as well.
All right, let's switch.
And the Colts and the Patriots are the two that are doing it the most.
That's right.
Look at the success that they're having.
That's exactly right.
All right, I want to switch gears for a moment. Drew, I know you have some news that came out today with your Youth Football League, Football in America. So let us know what's happening there.
Our Flag Football League, Football in America, which we built to be the gold standard of youth flag football, was acquired by Unrivaled Sports. So now I'm a strategic partner with Unrivaled Sports to continue to grow Youth Flag Football League for leagues for boys and girls throughout the country. Also to develop a tournament series to help with the international expansion of the game, to put together really unique, fun events, just like Cooperstown has done for youth baseball. But as we build up to the 2028 Olympics, where flag football will be a sanctioned event, we're so excited to be a part of that growth and putting that together.
Hey, Drew, at some point in time, man, because this ain't the only show I do, I want to talk to you about that, because flag football is incredibly popular.
It's growing.
It's big time, and it's growing more and more every day. And the NFL has been talking about that for a very long time, and I think that's a subject that needs to be embraced and talked about even more. So I definitely want to get it together with you, Drew, to really, really talk about that and to put that out there, because people need to realize flag football is not going anywhere.
Real.
It's real, and it's incredibly popular.
Yeah, and that's a huge partnership.
Well, flag football is becoming the initial sport that every kid plays now. Like it used to be where you just you put your kids in soccer at age 4 or 5. Now it's flag football. Like it's truly the gateway sport to just every other sport.
That's right.
The athletic movements and skill sets that you learn from flag football cross over to every sport that you would ever want to play. So really, it is something that's being totally embraced, boys, girls, as like the initial sport that everybody plays.
I got to admit, though, I would like to see like Drew Brees coaching, and then he gets flagged, he gets penalized, for bad behavior. You know what I'm saying? I want to see that happen.
I haven't gotten a few. Coaches get back on the sideline.
Yeah,
sideline warnings.